What's going on, guys? So Trump recently ordered that Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia University student and Palestine protest organizer, to be deported. Green card holders, they're not really citizens, but they're not non-citizens either. They have rights, and for you to deport them, you can't just deport them because you feel like deporting them. You would have to prove that they actually committed a crime or did something that's detrimental to society. That's an actual crime. I mean, as far as I know, freedom of speech is not considered a crime. And this action right here is just a blatant violation of every single civilian. Because who can feel safe now? Who can feel, the guy had frivolous lawsuits against him, and now he's implementing those same lawsuits against other people. This is what he tweeted out. This is what Drumpf tweeted out about his arrest. Following my previously signed executive orders, ICE proudly apprehended and detained Mahmoud Khalil, a radical foreign pro-Hamas student on the campus of Columbia University. This is the first arrest of many to come. We know there are more students at Columbia and other universities across the country who have engaged in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic, anti-American activity, and the Trump administration will not tolerate it. Many are not students, they are paid agitators. We will find, apprehend, and deport these terrorist sympathizers from our country, never to return again. If you support terrorism, including the slaughtering of innocent men, women, and children, your presence is contrary to our national and foreign policy interests, and you are not welcome here. We expect every one of America's colleges and universities to comply. Thank you. Trump saying that we don't support people who kill innocent women and children is just bananas. It is the most ironic thing you can say when he pulled out a chair for Netanyahu, who was responsible for murdering thousands of innocent women and children. At this point, he has no right to cry about any frivolous lawsuits against him. If everyone's rights are being breached, how can anyone feel safe here? How can anyone say, hey, I'm feel safe? You can just pick up anybody. This is what people do in third world countries. If you go to third world countries, if they don't like somebody, if somebody has an opposing voice, they just go pick that guy up in the middle of the night, drag him out from his family, put him in prison, and you never hear about him again. That's what they're doing. They're just picking random people and saying, oh, this is similar to McCarthism in the 40s, where if you didn't like somebody, you would just accuse them of being a communist. And then people would just go against you, and they would oust you out of Congress, put some false charges on you. I don't agree with what happened to Trump. I think some of the lawsuits that happened against him were frivolous lawsuits and were completely unjust. But two wrongs don't make a right. At this point, if the top leader of this country is not respecting laws, how can you expect anybody to respect their laws? Look, they passed a law that outlawed the Bible. Majority of the congressmen are actually Christians. And they voted for that law, which basically bans any anti-Semitic speech, which includes the Bible. So if they're going against their own beliefs, I'm not surprised that they're here, dragging Muslims out and putting them in prisons and threatening deportation. Okay, now thankfully there's like a federal judge who stepped in and said you can't do this. It's good to see that someone has some reasoning or some sense of not morality. This is not even a moral thing. This is the law. You can't just pick up people and deport them because you don't like what they're saying. That's not how things work. At this point, we crossed the boundary before just this being a conflict between Israel and Palestine and stuff like that. This is personal rights of civilians here in the United States being violated. No one should feel safe anymore. We're all on just a totem pole. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Chinese, Mexican, or whatever. If you're picking people up and just throwing them in prisons because you don't like them, bro, it's just a matter of time before they do it to you. This is my personal opinion, okay? Now I'm going off of how I feel. I feel like we're going to see a major war, okay, before the end of this administration, within 2 years. The whole economy is going down, stocks are down, food prices are down, food prices are going up, unemployment is so high. People in my company are getting laid off. Left and right, people are just being laid off. They don't have money. Everything's extremely expensive. Stocks are down. Things are more volatile than ever. If you ask me, I feel like there's going to be a war, not just an external war against any other countries. I think there's going to be an internal war in the United States. This is my opinion. I'm not provocating a war. I don't want a war. That's the last thing I want. But these injustices, they're just creeping up and up and up. I mean, it's just a matter of time before before these injustices creep up to people who we know, like people we know, like, hey, so and so down the street. I mean, in the Muslim community, it's already happened, but we might start seeing this from people who are not in the Muslim community. We're seeing this in the Hispanic community, but we might start seeing this from people who are in the white community. And when that happens, I mean, God help us. I mean, anyway, this is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think.